Well, hey, are you curious how to make your own anti-aging face moisturizer? If so, you're in the right place because in today's video, I'm going to teach you how to make your own anti-aging face cream that is going to be far superior and cheaper than anything you can buy in the store, using all ingredients that are great for your skin and customized to your skin. And of course, like I said, it's not going to be pricey. Stay tuned. It's coming your way right now. Well, hey, welcome back to my channel. If you've been here for a bit, if you are new, I am super bummed that you are here today. My name is Lauren, and my channel is dedicated to holistic living from the inside out with a bit of a heavier focus on beauty and things for the body. And in today's video, I'm going to be teaching you how to make your own anti-aging moisturizer. And here's the cool part. This is so easy to do. And after I show you this recipe and how to make it, what I really want to teach you is how to customize this for your own skincare needs, because that's the best part. It's not pricey and you can make it tailor-fitted for your skincare. So let's go ahead and jump into the recipe and how I actually made this.
So you're going to start with 40 grams of rose water. And as you can see, I just used my scale and measured it to the gram. Pour that in your first container. And then distilled water, you definitely want to use distilled water because it's very, very pure. So much better than your tap water and what your tap water actually has in it. So that was 20 grams that calls for in this recipe. And then this is my preservative. It's an all-natural preservative, which is grapeseed oil. And what I used was 1 gram. This is optional, but if you're wanting shelf life for your products, it is a must, and I'll explain why at the end. Now onto our oil phase. In a separate dish or a mason jar, you're going to prepare your oils. In this recipe, I'm using avocado and evening primrose because they target wrinkles and they also encourage new skin cell turnover. So 15 grams of avocado oil and 10 grams of evening primrose. And after you add those, then you're going to add your antioxidant, which is vitamin E oil, and that is 1 gram. Vitamin E oil is so great for scarring and all kinds of things, lightening and brightening. And after that, emulsifying wax is the last thing that you add to this bowl, and that is 15 grams, and then we're on to our next phase of this process. So for this part, you want to set your jars inside of a pot of water that is kind of on simmer. It's not boiling, but it's just to melt the wax and heat up the water so that you can combine them here just like you've seen me do. That process took about 10 minutes on the stove. And as you can see, I'm mixing, and the cool part here is that once I tipped the oil and water together in the same bowl, you could see that it actually started to look like a cream. I was beginning to wonder, when is it gonna look like a cream? And that's when it happens. So what I'm doing here is I mixed for 3 minutes and then I set my whisk down, let it sit for 60 seconds, and then you're gonna come back and whisk again. And you need to repeat that process of 60-minute, 60-second increments until it thickens up. And say hello to Bella, one of our lovely kittens, and there's Dexter. Never a dull moment around our house with 5 cats, and when I am making skincare or pretty much anything, they're always very, very interested in the process and what mom is making. So as I keep whisking, I'm gonna pull out my essential oils here, and the 3 that I added are frankincense, rose, and myrrh. All of these oils have amazing anti-aging properties. Frankincense for sure is known as the fountain of youth, so it is in every single product that I have. Rose gave this a beautiful smell. Lance and I both loved it, and of course he got some B-roll of 3 of 5 cats hanging out on the actual countertop. So our product is done. Let's go ahead and put it in this jar, and I will have the link for you on where I found these jars at, but it turned out so beautiful. It smelled amazing. And like I said, I couldn't be more proud of something that I made, along with the fact that it works. And I'll tell you a little bit more about it now that we've made the recipe.
I hope you enjoyed seeing exactly how to make your own skincare. And by the way, that was the first time that I ever attempted to make my own, beauty cream, like a moisturizer. Using oils and things like that for your face and making serums that are more like oil based, those are relatively easy to make. You throw some crap in a jar, call it good. This is a little different. I don't think you could see this, but whenever I dumped after we did the emulsifying and the water and all of that, and I put them together, and when it turned into a cream, I quite literally exclaimed, "Oh my gosh, I did it!" I was that excited because, you know, I'm filming this for the first time, heart's beating real fast, hoping it turns out well, and it really did. So it was intimidating to do this, but I want to tell you, don't be intimidated. This was the easiest thing I've ever made. In fact, making body lotion was a little bit harder, and you'll hear about that in another video. But I've got a few things I want to talk about today, and also some things to tell you that will make this process a lot easier. So I've got my notes here in front of me. Let's go ahead and jump into those things. So the first thing I want to tell you is that this book right here, and I'll link it below for you in the description box, has been a huge help for me. It honestly should be named Make Your Own Skincare for Dummies products, because that's really what it's teaching you. Those who've been making their own home-based, DIY, all-natural products are probably, if you've been doing that for a while, you probably don't need a book like this. But for somebody like me who is just venturing out going, yeah, this is intimidating, I wanted something that I could feel pretty confident in and that would also give me a crap ton of recipes to choose from. And that's exactly what this did. So I wanted to make sure that I point out this book because I think you can learn a lot. What's really kind of cool about this too is when you go into it, you can actually, let's see, let me pop to, this is what I love. That's all about your base oils. There are spots in here that actually tell you, for instance, your base oils and why you want to use them. You can see I circled avocado in there, and it tells you like what it does. So as an example, next to avocado, it says for dry, mature skin. It is anti-wrinkle. It encourages skin cell regeneration. Hallelujah, praise the Lord. That's what we need. Healing. It's rich in vitamins A, B1, B2, B5, D, and E. And what's really cool, it even tells you like the shelf life of having those kinds of things, which is important, and you'll learn why here in a minute. Inside of the video, you probably noticed that I use preservative. And I know that that is such a dirty word when it comes to, well, really any type of company or any type of product claiming to have something that is all natural. But really when you think about preservative, yes, there might be ones that are not really great for you, but you need to think of the term preservative as a form of shelf life. And the reason you want to think about that is because now Lance and I have used quite a bit of this. You can see by the time I'm making this actual video for you, like the intro, the outro, all the things. But whenever you think about, you know, making your own moisturizer, this sucker was plumb full, as you saw in the video, when I first made it. Well, if that's only gonna last me 3 or 4 days, why in the world would I wanna make that much product? I wouldn't, I'd be wasting it. So you wanna actually have the shelf life. So there are 5 key things that are a must when you make your own creams and moisturizers. And if these 5 things are not in your cream, so your lotions, moisturizers, things like that, then here's the deal. It's not gonna hold up. It's just not gonna be a cream or a lotion for you. And by the way, thank you, Whole Elise. I learned this from her channel, which I will link for you guys to see. Her channel is awesome. She's like a scientist when it comes to skincare. So here's what she talked about on one of her videos. And what's funny is I had watched her video and went back to my book for reference, and my book talks about those same things as when you're making creams and lotions. So let's talk about these 5 ingredients. And here's the key. The reason why you have to have these 5 ingredients is because you have water in your product. And anytime there is water, there is life. And that's the big factor here. So when it comes to the 5 ingredients you're gonna need for a lotion and a cream, here we go. Water, it needs to be distilled. Distilled water is known for its purity because it's free of toxins, pollutants, microbes, and that's one of the reasons why you want to use distilled water. Funnily enough, inside of the fitness industry, whenever we would have, when Lance and I were training for a show at one time that we never ended up doing, one of the things that our coach was telling us at the time is, hey, you need to be using distilled water when you're washing your face. It's actually going to clear up your skin. It's going to make your skin look youthful. So it kind of makes sense to me, like when I started learning that, that's why we use distilled water. That was the reason we used it back then. So the other thing that your skincare has to have in lotions and creams is going to be an oil. And your essential oils, just so you know, should only make up about 2% of your entire total. So as an example, I suck at math, but this should be pretty easy math for you. If you have 100 milligrams, if your product is gonna make up 100 milligrams on your scale, then 2 milligrams, right? That's 2% of 100. That is what is going to be your maximum amount of essential oil that you should put in there. Now, I will say this, some people don't have sensitive skin and you can just hammer out that EO as much as you want to in there. I don't have sensitive skin. I've straight up put frankincense, in my old crappy moisturizers before I started making my own stuff, straight on my face. Never had a problem. Like I would literally use frankincense, a drop in the morning, a drop at night on my skin. So if you don't have sensitive skin, you can go a little bit heavier than that. I followed strictly by the recipes this time, but just something to keep in mind. And then the third thing is preservative. Your preservative needs to make up anywhere from 0.5 to 1.5% of your product, along with your antioxidant is the other thing, and that's what vitamin E is. Vitamin E oil is an antioxidant. So again, preservative and antioxidants, you have to have both of those. The preservative is going to be for the water part, and the antioxidant is going to be for your oils, right? So that's what's going to help keep that product what it needs to be and keep up the shelf life. The book will go into a little bit more details on your percentages too. That was the other thing that was interesting to learn in this book about preservatives and antioxidants. Antioxidants need to make up about 1 to 2% of your product as well. And then the last thing is the emulsifier. Without that emulsifier, you're not going to be able to mix oil and water. I think we all know this, but oil and water do not mix. So the emulsifier is going to help them to emulsify and grab together and hold together. And that's what you want. So those are your 5 key things. It looks like 10, but 5 key things that you've got to have inside of a lotion or a cream / moisturizer if you're going to make those. So my favorite thing about making my own skincare is it is the ability to customize everything for my own needs. As an example, all of my skincare for me is based upon anti-aging. My motto is age with grace. And I am trying to do that as long as I can. Oh, shoot, even when I'm 50 and 60, that's still gonna be my motto, is to try and look a few years younger, but do it with grace without changing a bunch of features on my face, right? So in saying that, since my skincare is really focused on anti-aging, and lo and behold, my husband is too, and we have all the same problem areas, which is kind of nice. We can share our skincare. One of the things that I use in pretty much everything, all of my products actually, I shouldn't say pretty much everything has these 2 essential oils. So get your pen and paper down: frankincense and myrrh. Frankincense is kind of known in the essential oil world as like the fountain of youth, right? And myrrh is as well. And here's what's really cool. This is what warms my heart as a Christian. If you go back and you read about Queen Esther in the Bible, girls, Queen Esther was a beauty queen. She wasn't just a queen of her area, but she was a beauty queen. And her entire beauty regimen centered around frankincense and myrrh. And if you know the story about the birth of Jesus, those were also 2 of the essential oils that were brought to him because they were really hot commodities back then. So my motto is, if it was good for Jesus and good for Queen Esther, it's probably going to be good for me to use on my face. So those are 2 of the oils that I actually use in everything. So let's actually talk about a couple of the ways that you can customize your moisturizer. And I'll give you some examples based upon what I'm going to do next time, since I have the confidence now that when I'm making this, I can adjust the recipe and not feel like I'm going to blow it making my own skincare cream. So let me turn to page, here I got it in my notes here, 52. So page 52 talks about all of like your carrier oils, your base oil characteristics, and avocado oil is on here. Next time I actually make this, instead of using, I think the recipe called for 15 grams, or might have been 12 grams of avocado oil, I am going to actually split that up in between 3 oils. So I like pomegranate oil. And here's why. Pomegranate oil is fast absorbing. It also fades fine lines and wrinkles. It restores youthful skin. And big key here for people with acne, it has properties in it that help reduce acne and inflammation if you do have that. Jojoba oil is the other one that I want to infuse my moisturizer with. And here's why we like jojoba. It is known as nature's moisture. It's a great base oil. It's also shown to increase the suppleness of skin and reduces fine lines and wrinkles. So again, I got that out of here. I've already read you about avocado oil. The other oil that I want to use and infuse with this is evening primrose. Evening primrose is anti-wrinkle. It encourages skin rejuvenation or regeneration. It's rich in omega-6 and also treats dry, chapped skin. So that would be good for winter. Like if you had your night cream, like if this sucker lasted, 3 to 6 months, and then you have to make a new night cream for the winter, that might be a really good one for those of us that live in colder states. So those are the reasons why I want to infuse those oils. So as an example, let me make the math really easy. Let's say the recipe that I had for my skincare called for 12 grams of avocado oil. I would take that 12, if I'm putting 4 carrier oils in there, I would just divide that up. So I do 3 of pomegranate, 3 of jojoba, 3 of avocado, and 3 of evening primrose. And that would give me 12 total grams of the base oils that I'm putting in that moisturizer. So hopefully that makes sense. And then the same thing with your essential oil customization. This is what I love. It's like everything in my skincare is about my skin and about Lance's skin and what we need. So if I flip over to page 45 in my book, I have made a lot of highlighting notes here. You can go in and look at what these essential oils do for your skin. So as an example, next time, probably what I'll throw in here is rosewood. Rosewood it's rejuvenating, it targets wrinkles, and is also soothing. Another one that we could put in here, and I don't like to use this one very much because this is the old joke that I used to make, and I love you all of my patchouli wearers out there, but patchouli oil to me, if it's used too much, smells like old ladies and mothballs. So I'm very cautious about how much patchouli oil I use. It can really change the smell of your products, but patchouli oil is wonderful. Here's what it does. It renews and regenerates skin cells and tissues. It also fights general and fungal infections. It's a great all-purpose skincare ingredient, and it really is good. So I might put a drop of that in there. The petitgreen oil that I use that in a lot of my products. First of all, it smells, it's almost like, I don't know, you got a good like dude's cologne that you actually really love. I don't know about you guys, I'm a sucker for a dude's cologne that smells good. Petitgreen has that like, ooh, this is manly. Like it has that smell to it and it smells so good. So I'm probably gonna throw that in there next time. But what it also does is it decongests blocked pores and it's healing. So if you have struggled with like just blackheads and your skin kind of filling up with things that you don't need in there, you could throw that in there to help with that. So these are just all ways that you can actually customize your skincare. And that's what I love about this. First of all, there's not one thing in here that I don't know what it is. And secondly, everything that is in here for me is something that I need and use for my skin. And I've noticed such a difference, and it smells, I love the smell of rose. I think I want to put jasmine in here next time. Jasmine smells good too. But anyway, it just smells amazing, and it's doing wonders for my skin, and it's making me feel younger again, and I feel like my skin looks way, way different. So that's what I wanted to kind of give you some thoughts on customization, because you can make this your own. And if you like what I did today, great, go for it. It works wonderfully. But if you want to change things up or you've got other needs, that's another reason I love this book. And you can also look up essential oils online and see what they do for you too. The last thing I wanted to mention before we close out here is we do use this moisturizer at night. It can be used in the daytime, but here's what I would say. You can see it's thick, right? So when we were using this in the daytime, before I made us a daytime moisturizer, what I did is during the day, I would say that I would pick up maybe that much and then, dot my face. And then of course, put it on my face. The reason why is because it's a heavier moisturizer. I'm not saying you're gonna feel like a grease pit, right? You're not. When you first start using it, you might if you're not used to a heavy moisturizer, but this is for dry, mature skin. So you can use it in the daytime, but I do have the day cream, and I'll get to that recipe soon and show you how I did that. That one is a lot less dense of a product, and it's a lot more, when I say smooth, I don't mean smooth in the sense of like, this one's not smooth. I just mean that the way that it glides on your skin and just kind of goes in and goes away. This one's a heavier moisturizer. So I'll do a video to show you the difference in both, of course, and show you how to make the day cream. And again, it's customized for us. But if you use this, you can use it as both. Just make sure at night you can just pile it on, but during the day, I probably wouldn't use as much of it. Go a little bit lighter because it is heavier. So I think that's about everything that is in this video. So if you enjoyed it, you know what to do. Give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you can get alerted every time I do a new video. And thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to hearing from you in the comments if you've got questions and getting back to you, and I'll see you in the next video.